And we are live on Facebook.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Grand Rising. Buenos dias. Buenos dias, everybody. Good morning. What's going on? What's going on? Hey. Good morning, everybody. Wake up, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy June. Grand Risings. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yes, indeed. Good morning. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey. How you doing, fool?
I'm good. How are you?
Feeling really good today. Mhm.
That's good.
Thanks. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
What I love about this morning, Nicholas, is that it's off to such a great start. Like we're on here even
Man,
before 7, like minutes to go.
yeah,
I love it. I love it. It's going to be a
yeah.
great session. I'm looking forward to it.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, we started it off pretty well today.
What would
Morning.
you say a community need to get ready for your, or to have prepared, ready while you're giving this session today? What are we
Today,
going to?
yeah, that's great. Today we need something to write with. I would definitely recommend something to write with. It's something you can feel. It's all experiential. You are already enough. But today, I think having something to jot down, having something to journal, will be really helpful today. So as you come in, you can journal with something by hand, or if you're more comfortable with typing, if you're on a computer, you're welcome to type. Just allow yourself to have some type of text document up so that you're able to write some of your thoughts down. As you come in, a journal, a notepad, or a text document on your computer will be a great way to keep a hold, keep a record of the things we'll be exploring today. We're exploring a system that you know is very unique to the individual. So you can have a journal, have a computer device to type, or just something to jot down your thoughts, to journal how things are showing up for you in the session, because it'll resonate slightly different with everyone.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Here in the community, all sessions I recommend having something to take notes with. So always a pen and paper. What's always good too is early in the morning get a body settled. Water. Having water. Dehydrated. I know you're gonna be taking breaths and stuff. There you go. You got your hydration
Thank you.
ready.
Thank you.
Have on your next meal somewhere.
Good
Awesome.
morning. Good
Peace
morning,
and
Chris and
blessings.
Keisha. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Wonderful.
Amazing. And Bimbola. Nice to see you here today. Good morning. I've Bimbola. Yes, indeed. Good morning, everyone. As you're coming in today, have a journal with you so you can jot down some thoughts today. We'll be going through a system that is unique to the individual. So today could be a great day to have that.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning. Discerning, we're striving. Together, together, we're leading. Connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Grand Risings.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you here, Ms. Jacqueline. My name is Quazzy. For those that we haven't introduced yet, I'm one of the presenters here for Wake Up Everybody. I'm also a yogi, meditator, father, and a bunch of other things. I'm really excited today to share with you a system that I'm really passionate about. And it's a system that's helped me understand parts of myself that were intuitively showing up, and it gave me a map to understand them and guide myself through them. And this particular system that I'm referring to is the chakra system. Just by, either in the chat or if anybody wants to speak on their experience with chakras, what does everyone know about the chakra system, if anything? If you know nothing, you can put in the chat nothing. If you have some insight on the chakra system that you could share, you can either put it in the chat or you could just speak on it.
I don't know who that was who spotlighted me, but I just know that it has to do with your energy centers and specific, I guess, parts of your body. I'm not real versed in chakras.
That was perfect. That was perfect. Energy centers, exactly. That's exactly what it is. The chakras are an energy system. It's a system that allows you to kind of feel where the flow of your energy is. I'm sure we've all had experiences where we might have felt, hey, I have good energy today. Or maybe you met someone and you're like, that person has good energy. And also probably on the other side of it, you probably felt days when we were low vibration. That might've been the word we used, or we met someone and they said, they could have had everything together, but their energy just felt off in some kind of way. So these are just different ways that we understand energy. And this is yet another system that we can kind of learn from. I know Afua in the comments said there's 7 main characters in the body. And that's true. There are 7 main characters, and there's these 7 main chakras we'll be focusing on. And even with that, there's like dozens and dozens more, and there's, thousands of different ways to interpret it. So one of my intentions for today is to look at the 7 main chakras, and we'll be speaking on them, but we'll try to speak on them in ways that we all can relate, even if we have no prior knowledge of the chakras. So the idea here is to take a system that's ancient and is coming from a different land other than America, and able to, process it in our day-to-day lives. I know a lot of us tuning in from New York City, and that's a city that I'm very fond of, and it's got a lot of energy, and you can see a lot of good energy, and you can also see a lot of chaotic energy. So really, wherever you're tuning in from, hopefully the intention is by the end of this session, we have some discernment on how we're feeling, and we also give ourselves healthy parameters for other people in our life who are dealing with their own energy centers. Okay, so I think I'll go to, and for my admin team, we can skip the first slide altogether, and I think we can go right into the second one. And this is, these are the terms in which we'll be understanding the chakra system. You can see through the spine, from the base of the spine all the way to the tailbone, to the crown of the head, there's these circles and they have this glow. And if you could just imagine that in our body are different departments. And these departments are ways that we show up. You might think of like a mall has different stores. It's all connected to the same building. So are we in these same ways. So some of the language we may think about when we think about the chakras today: I am, I feel, I do, I love, I speak, I see, and I understand. Yeah. And we can take the slides down. So that is a framework for how we're looking at things today. Let's just take about 2 to 3 minutes to ground ourselves into the practice. If you're just logging on, Grand Risings, good morning, buenos dias. We're just talking about some chakras. We're talking about energy, we're talking about flow, and we're gonna get to a few cycles of breath so that we can really get connected physically as we process some of this material. So if you have not yet really found yourself in a comfortable position, find yourself in a comfortable position. Things that you may already be doing that are already supporting you could be noticing your feet are on the floor. Unless you're in some other position, allowing the feet to rest on the floor as the first point of contact that we have with the earth. And then maybe even relax the space between the toes, which could simply be mentally drawing your awareness to it. There may be things that you've already been doing, you've already been working on. There are plenty of things that you are already in motion to receive. That in this moment, rather than having to add, if anything, we can reduce some of the noise that separates us from our highest self. In this moment, noticing the feet, being able to connect with the floor. Give yourself an inhale as if you're drawing energy up from the earth. Allow the breath to be full and elevate you. And when you exhale, imagine this breath is moving out of the body, being sent back into the world. We'll take a few more cycles in this way. Inhale, drawing your breath, coming from the soles of the feet all the way upwards. And as you exhale out, that energy being sent out into the world. You can imagine in this moment, you are a filter, a conduit for electrical charge, for high vibrational energy. And you can allow your feet simply connecting to the earth to be a source that you're drawing up from. You can even have this in the back of your mind, that the earth itself has a chakra too. And there is a spinning, always spinning vibrational force of energy from the earth that we are drawing and connecting to. And as we continue to draw from this Mother Earth source, you can let the awareness of your breath travel up the feet, through your shins, around the back of the knees, even through the hips. There's a space about 3 inches below your navel, that is a source of energy you can draw from. As you inhale, allow your breath to move through that space 3 inches below the navel. Continuously sending your breath out, trusting what no longer serves you is being released from the body so that it can be recycled and renewed for another cause, another purpose. Trust that any of the energy you may be feeling is always in a state of shift. And we can watch the shifts here, even as we add new awareness to this very new day. We'll take one more inhale, reminding ourselves that this breath, this life force connects all of us, allowing it to rise all the way through the crown of the head, a center of connection. And then releasing it out, a sigh, something vibrational, something that allows you to be here. When you're ready, you can flutter the eyes open. If you need to roll the shoulders back or move to the neck, you're welcome to it. Again, good morning, everybody. If you're just tuning in, I'm Quazzy, and I will be leading us through the chakra system today. Okay. So I also want to add too, there's 7 chakras, and we are only going over 3 of them because it's a lot. And I think these first 3 that we're going to are ones that we can practically use in our day-to-day. I'll just say about the upper chakras is it gets more and more, they're all spiritual, but it can get more and more intangible. It can get more ethereal as you go up. So these ones that we'll go over today will have very grounded, very tangible ways that you can connect to them, okay? And the first one we'll start off with is the root chakra. So we can just briefly have the root chakra slide up. So from here, you're welcome to read along with me. I'm just going to read it anyway. The root chakra is located at the base of the spine. The root chakra is concerned with needs. Our root source of energy is impacted by our survival. The purpose of the root chakra is to promote stability, safety, strength, and groundedness with oneself. Okay, thank you. So, a question for the group is, in terms of the root chakra, a chakra that's all about safety and security. How do we feel when our sense of safety and security has been compromised? So you can answer in the chat, or you can come off mute. Jacqueline says unbalanced. Yes, when our sense of safety and security has been compromised, there can be an unbalance or an imbalance. Anxious, yes. Anxiety, when we don't feel secure, anxiety. Keisha said anxiety, yes. Candice, I'm saying it right, said stressed. We can be stressed when our sense of security has been compromised. Yes, definitely. Vulnerable, fearful. Who was vulnerable in John Carl? Vulnerable, yes, exactly. It's like it's our first, it's our first kind of line. Adrenaline increases. Okay, let's do it. These are all really good ones, all really valid ones. These are all different ways that a person can feel, we can feel when our sense of security and safety have been compromised. If we could pull up the next slide. Fight or flight, totally. Scared. Or it says, yeah. Or too scared to act. Yes. So like there's a hesitancy there. A few that I have written down: ungrounded, disconnected. There can be a financial insecurity. There can be a constantly playing it safe. There can be placing too many boundaries as a way to kind of protect that space. There can be a trying to control every outcome or situation. So these are all different ways that we can feel when our sense of security and safety have been compromised. Okay, we can close the slide. Constantly playing it safe, yeah. And the thing about when our sense of safety and security is compromised is it can be overactive or underactive. And so you can see it in these both different ways. Was there someone going to speak, John Carl?
Yeah, it was me. I was thinking in my mind, like, why don't we invite someone to share their experience of some of the comments we have here, of anxiousness, stress, fearfulness, when your sense of security, safety and security has been compromised. It'd be nice if we can have someone come in and share an experience about that.
Yes. If anybody feels comfortable and able to kind of share. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Quazzy. I like to call on Keisha, who said anxious. She was the first one to share. Do you mind sharing, Keisha?
Yes, Kaisha. Good morning, everyone.
Aisha, sorry.
It's okay. I chose anxious. Um, I chose anxiety slash anxious for safety reasons. And when your sense of safety is compromised, I mean, and that could be anything. As far as my home, I have a security system, and I never experienced a break-in, but I have a security system because break-ins make me anxious. So, there's been, of course, plenty of times car accidents. I've been in a few car accidents, and that creates anxiety, as well for a while, and especially if you survive it and you have to get back on the road and drive, um, that creates PTSD, a little PTSD. And other examples, just walking down the street, just being in a crowd and you're not feeling secure because of what could happen any place and anywhere in a crowd. So yes, those are my own experiences with anxiety when I lose my sense of safety and security. Thank you.
Peace, Kaisha, and thank you for sharing too. I appreciate it. Like Keisha's saying, that those things are, I think we can relate to a lot of them. It's really interesting, I think, when we have something that's been compromised, something as sacred as safety and security. It can rock us to the core. And like how Kaisha was saying, sharing about the home system, having a home system for protection, even though her house has never been broken into. When we have a feeling of compromise, especially in a place like the root chakra, even the possibility of what can happen starts to take a hold of us and can take us out of maybe the present reality of what's happening. If you've ever been in a space and felt anxiety and you could imagine the worst possible scenario, or if you've been in a room with people who you didn't know quite well yet, so there was an insecurity about your relationship around them, you might jump to conclusions about how they perceive you. The list can definitely go on when we have these narratives in our head that are valid because they come from like Aisha said, it can come from a PTSD place. Our safety and security were compromised in this part of the our safety and security was compromised on one side, one event, and it caused us to feel that same kind of compromised sense of safety and security in another part of our life. So balancing our root chakra is really pivotal for us to even navigate what's happening on Earth. So I think it's really great that when we look at the root chakra, we can look at I am. I am being such a powerful place to come from. And even I am as a complete sentence is a powerful place to come from. I am, period. Right? Because we are dynamic and there's a lot of things we can be. And there's a lot of things that may have been projected on us that would have us feeling like we're stuck in this way. So when it comes to the root chakra, this safety and security can literally be your home, finding a place that feels safe and secure like your home. It can also be your body as a home, having to reconnect with a sense of safety and security in your own body. The root chakra is, to me, maybe one of the heavier chakras because it's literally the root. It's to the ground. It's can't get any heavier. So it's in this place that we do have to work with our traumas and find a way to heal these traumas so that our foundation is strong. There's this Harry Belafonte record, and he says, "A house built on a weak foundation will not stand." And that always stuck with me in the same way, because if you build a strong foundation, right, like a brownstone, for example, it'll last. And even if things weather at the top, the foundation will stay. So when you look at the root chakra, you want to remember, I am. And this I am can also be what we can be, right? Even if the safety isn't there yet, we can source it. I am safe. I am secure. I am enough. I am whole. Even when things happen to us, right, we can still be complete beings. Right? We can grow, we can evolve from our scars, right? Scars can heal, and it's through the root chakra that we can find that really connected thing. Because if we don't find it connected in a visceral way, it'll be hard to build strong on top of that. If there's any Facebook comments or if anything I should know, just let me know. Did anybody else want to share their experience of the root chakra?
The Facebook comment is inside of the Zoom chat, and Teresa is the last one to comment. She says confused.
Oh, okay. Understood. Okay.
No problem. And there are other comments. I'm not present to what was read already. So I did hear, well, did you hear Candace? Too scared to act. And Laura?
Yes.
Okay.
Understood. Terry says, I use I am statements to keep me grounded. Yes. And even tapping, if tapping, kind of finding different points in the body as you do your affirmations can be a good way to go throughout the day. That way you can physically kind of feel your own touch against yourself as you say these I am statements. I am. When people tend to talk about themselves, they tend to put their hand on their heart even before their head. So even just the idea that we don't really live in our head, but we live in our heart, our body. I am. Just connecting with self with those I am statements. And I would suggest all of us, if you even now, if you can think of I am statements that empower you, to jot them in your journal. Even sometimes you just need one good one, right? And for others, you might have a list that all kind of come together.
I love Quazzy. I love the I am statement. It's something I use very often, and I believe in it. I believe that those words are magical. What you say you are, you become, whether you know it or not. Just because you said it, you've created it. And you asked someone else to share, and I see in the chat from Terry Ruffin, who said, I use I am statements to keep me grounded. And I am curious to see if Terry would like to share her experience with how she uses the I am statement. How you use the I am statement, Terry. I'm going to speak to you directly. Would you like to share with us, please?
Certainly. Good morning, everyone. I use I am statements. Often I use them at several times throughout the day. I definitely use them to start my day. And sometimes I just say them out loud. I just say, I'm wonderful. I'm gorgeous. I'm entitled to the best. I am deserving of the best. And then sometimes what I do is, well, I'll find some I am statements on YouTube, and I'll just turn them on and I'll just let them play in the background while I'm going throughout my day, or sometimes I might put them on at night so that they can seep into my subconscious and keep me, like I said, they keep me grounded and they raise my vibrations and they help to take away anything that I may have experienced or is experiencing throughout the day that takes me away from my sense of safety and comfort. Because I too, like Ke- Keisha, had experienced anxiety around areas of safety from being having my personal space and myself violated. So that's a lifelong journey that I'm working on to restore my my space of comfort and safety.
Peace, Terry. Thank you for sharing. A really powerful share. It just in the order in which you shared it. I promise you, those are my new affirmations. I am wonderful. I am gorgeous. I am worthy of the best. The way when you said that, the way it hit me, that was a powerful feeling. I love those affirmations, and thank you for sharing them with us. Um, those feel good to me, and I appreciate you sharing them, because I think those I am statements, they have to feel good to us, and and we should allow ourselves to feel good by saying them. It can be, I don't know if I would go into a place that I didn't know, right, and have the confidence to just, I am wonderful, I am gorgeous. People tend to not feel like they can share the positive feelings, which is kind of funny because people will very quickly share some of the self-deprecating things about themselves. So, being able to say it to yourself in the mirror in the morning when you get up, and even if you don't ever tell anyone else that you said those things, you can feel them and they can come out just off your energy. And, in terms of us, we'll always have our history. We'll always be able to look back in our history. And I know this community probably very familiar with the Sankofa of looking back to go forward. I think that also connects with the root chakra. When we're healing lifelong traumas that could have existed from a young age to on now, we get to come back to these memories, not as the same people, but as people that are wonderful, that are gorgeous, that are worthy of deserving the best, that are continuing to get stronger and strengthen and heal that foundation. Mm-hmm. Yes. Just John Carl said, we speak things into existence. Great shares. I'd like to ask the group, what happens when the root chakra is balanced? When we've been doing our I am statements, when we've been, grounding ourselves, when our sense of safety and security feels whole. Now, even if it doesn't always feel whole, if you just in times you feel that when you felt safe and when you felt secure, what does it feel like? And calm and strong. Yeah. Deborah says calm and strong. Yeah, when you're safe, when you're secure, safe, calm, and secure, it's strong. Great. Yeah. Right. And as people continue to share, and if somebody wants to speak and share, you can also imagine what it would feel like if you're not quite sure what it feels like inwardly, like viscerally, then comment on what you can imagine. If you felt ultra safe, ultra secure, just imagine, what would that feel like to you? Kaisha said, I feel unhinged or unhindered. I love that. I love even the phrasing on that, because usually when I think of it can come in the non-affirmative, but in this case, especially with the root chakra, the non-affirmative can be very helpful. I'm one of those people that likes to hear yes, positive affirmations, so I always get in that kind of way. With something like the root chakra, I think it's very powerful to find the non-affirmative with the root chakra, right? So we do the I am, but we also say, this is not what I need, because we're talking about safety and security. So with safety and security, out of all of them, we can have a bit of the non-affirmative. So I think unhinged speaks to life has hinged us in some way, and now we've kind of reclaimed it. We've taken ourselves off that hook, off that hinge. Could I have somebody help me read the comments?
Sure. Terry says, I feel invincible and able to accomplish anything I set my mind to, willing to try new things. And Cheryl says, centered and grounded.
Yeah.
Jacqueline says, it feels like confidence. It feels like I'm rooted, grounded, and all encompassing, spreading out the tree.
Yeah.
From Facebook, Laura Joseph says, I feel focused, and I feel stronger.
Yeah.
And again from Facebook, Teresa Plaskett says, I feel powerful and productive. John Carl adds strength and confidence. And Jem from Facebook says, our cells are always eavesdropping on our thoughts and our words. Her thoughts are, or her affirmations are, I am enough, is a powerful statement.
Nice. I'm not gonna hold you, Jim. Jim, that was a gem right there. That was a real gem. Our cells are always eavesdropping on our thoughts and our words. This speaks to a lot of things. John Carl earlier saying speaking into existence. The list goes on in kind of ways we've been sharing. That's on a cellular level, right? Which we definitely, I'm sure if it hasn't already been done, we will do it, like a workshop on our cellular structure as it relates to trauma, and then also in this case, kind of uplifting ourselves. That was good. I think there was a comment earlier about a tree, and just bringing it back to that tree comment. I'm noticing for myself, hearing all these shares is allowing my own sense of self to be raised. Like hearing other people mention their sense of balance is also somehow feeding me. So thank you for that. And it also reminds me of the roots of a tree. A tree may, appear as one big trunk, and then we all know underneath that trunk are many different roots. So even in this way, as we think about the root chakra as it relates to us individually, how about this collective root chakra as a wake up everybody family? Just knowing that you have each other to feel safe, to feel secure. This can be a place where if anywhere else, your sense of safety and security can be maybe raised, and the guard can be down. You can be a little bit less hindered. You can be unhindered, because we are all different roots to this bigger tree. So I think that's just great shares across the board. If I could, I'm picturing each person. Jacqueline says, I'm picturing each person on here as another root. Yeah, I feel you. That's what I'm like. It started, and just how even, the things kind of pop up and come about and people share. It is like one could be surprised at how many roots there are. Exactly. And we're feeding each other, building the strength that way. Good morning, everybody. If you're just tuning in, we out here raising the vibes. And Kimberly says it would feel like peace. If you could put the slide up, I have about the following slide, just about balance. I'll just see what I had on there. That'll be the next one. Yeah, feeling grounded, going with the flow, feeling safe, protected, taking better care of yourself, all of these things. We can go to the next slide. This would be a moment to journal. And I say we'll do about 3 minutes with the journaling. The prompt is, imagine you are a plant being prepared to grow. What are some things or ways that will help you blossom through the ground? So we're talking about our root chakra. We're talking about, you know, the start of something. You are the start of it. You are a plant. You're a product of the earth. Right? You're growing. What are some things, what are some ways that will help you blossom through the ground, right? The ground, it can be dry sometimes. It can be hard, right? That soil. What things will help you be so strong that you can push through that surface and continue to grow? Getting out of just that root place where we have to start and allowing ourselves to continue to grow, right? Because you can start writing now and figuring it out now. Because we don't want to live in our trauma forever, right? We don't want to forever be stuck at the root. We want to get higher. There's more, there's apples on some trees, you know what I mean? Like some trees bear gifts, and you have a gift for yourself and that the world can also grow from. So your plant being prepared to grow, what are some things or ways that help you blossom to get you to your highest possibility? And you have more than enough time. This is not a rush, not to rush you. If anyone has a share that they want to put in the chat, you're welcome to put in the chat in about a minute or so. I'll ask if someone wants to verbally speak their share as well. Please remember, as the morning continues to approach us, to take care of yourself, some water, or something else grounding in that way. Fia's spoken preparation, space, nutrients, encouragement. Yeah. So if you're writing, can please continue to write. If you have your answer and you would like to share, please share.
Hand up. She's still writing. Jacqueline, are you ready to present?
I wasn't looking. Good morning again. I was picturing in my mind what I need as a plant, and I'm thinking of myself as a human plant. That I need love, I need respect, I need care and kindness. The sunlight to me is enlightenment, seeing myself and seeing others. Water to help me absorb all that the earth has to give. Earth, soil, where the minerals are, where I draw from. And before you asked that question, and Jem had said that the statement "I am enough" is powerful, and probably one of the most powerful I am statements. I find that there's a tangle in my roots around being enough. And I know that. And this basically comes from my childhood experiences and maybe some experiences I had as I was growing up and as I've, matured. But I do know that there's a tangle there, that there's a little bit of anxiety around being enough, and that I'm constantly working on that. So if you have anything you can impart to me to help me deal with that, I would love it. And I'm complete.
See, Jacqueline, thank you for sharing. Wow, maybe it's the first time I thought of it today in this way, and how you shared it with the I am enough statement. And I think it's really supported by the community today that is coming out in this way. But I think that maybe up until right now, when I feel like, because I have that same kind of tangle of the I am enough. It's like, I say, am I enough rather than I am enough. Like I really have it tangled. You know, I think that's literally the tangle. I think sometimes we're asking ourselves, am I enough with a question mark? And really it's, I am enough, you know, with a period. And sometimes I think when I hear I am enough, I feel the pressure on myself to individually be enough, to be enough as I am, but it separate from what I really am. And I am physically here, but I also am a part of the Wake Up Everybody community. I am part of the admin team. You know, I am a reflection of my child, you know, and I'm a reflection of my ancestors still. So when I even think with the I am enough, we can remember we have a big backing behind us with the I am statement. And we're not on an island with the I am enough. It's not as I am enough and therefore I won't get support, you know, like, you know, I am enough. And because of who I am, right, I have the support, you know, because you're Jacqueline, you know, I am for you actually includes today at least 24 people, you know. So it's always us, right? Like it's always our perspective, and we are enough. And some of it is, I guess, proven by taking the time to really talk our stuff, you know, talk our ish, and then kind of look around, you know. The good thing about the earth, the root chakra and the earth, like you mentioned, is that it's tangible. Like you can really count, you know, your blessings in this way when we're talking about the root chakra. And, you know, I just know in the times that I've had the pleasure of being and share space with you, I know the support was there immediately. So I think that is also reflective of you being enough.
I appreciate that. I really do, because that's part of the reason why I'm on the Woo community, is for the support and to listen to the shares and to relate to other people, because sometimes I feel disconnected and I live in an area where I'm kind of isolated, especially from my friends and family. So that works for me. Thank you.
I appreciate it. And I would say for all of us, I think if we ever see ourselves latching onto something that is not an organic latch, if we find ourselves maybe holding on, like let's say, just for example, there's the in crowd, right? The Joneses or whatever it is. If you feel yourself like, am I enough? That would be a time I am enough. I don't need that external validation. I don't need this external confirmation that I am enough, right? I am enough, just me over here chilling, doing what I'm doing. And at the same time, because of who I am, I know that who organically is drawn in my heart, when I think of people that are easy to love, those people come up. When I think of people who I know love me and respect me, and I never have to question it, right? Those kind of people, those people that come up right away, that also is in our you know, in our atmosphere, our internal atmosphere of who we are. Because we carry our loved ones and versions of them internally. I know there's some chats or some comments.
Yes. You had mentioned her before. She said preparation, space, nutrients, encouragement. Mm-hmm. And Laura from Facebook says feeling the sun being watered. Mm-hmm. Teresa Scott says weed killer, talk to myself with sweet words.
We're gonna pause there for a moment. Teresa, I love weed killer. I'm loving I love how the metaphors we're using, like thinking about plants. And I just like weed killer. I just wanted to say, being mindful of what's taken away from our nutrients, you know, because a lot of them are what helps us, water, sun, these things helps us. And there's also, I'm even getting back to Kaisha's point, like the unhinged kind of the non-affirmative. Sometimes we got to pluck the weeds, you know, because they're not conducive to the garden we're going. Thanks,
John, yeah, there's more. Mm-hmm. Shall I read them?
Yeah, please.
Okay, John Carl says, knowing that I am destined to blossom. And on Facebook, there's no name here. Some things that will help me to blossom from the ground, the water, sunlight, love, care, and nutrients. Kaisha says, I need water, sun, food. The ground needs to be cultivated and or moved. Most importantly, I need love.
Love. And we'll take a moment there. Rest in peace to DMX. There's this really great photo of DMX, and I believe he's watering, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, it could have been birds, but I believe it was orchids. I think it was orchids. And what DMX said was, he used to think that he needed all these expensive lights and expensive ventilation and everything to grow orchids. But what he found out was that all they needed was just a little bit of time, attention, and love. So when I read I need love, it just had me thinking about DMX and how that's all. Really, that's what we all definitely need. You know, we need our specific things, of course, but love as a root is a beautiful thing. Okay.
All right. And from Facebook, Kimberly Osler agrees. I would need love, nutrients, lightness, smiles, comfort, guidance, water, respect, and protection. Jem says, I have written the statement, I am enough, written on my bathroom mirror in red lipstick.
Awesome.
Kimberly Osler adds, I'm enough to be expected for who I am and what I am becoming in this life. Terry Ruffin says, I'm fertilizing my soul by staying in the spirit of gratitude, being around like-minded people, life like woo. I sun gaze, I started a garden and I play in the dirt, loving on myself just because. I am imperfectly perfect on a journey of exploration and discovery of myself and the world. I am all deserving and my life experiences has empowered me to step into my greatness. And Jacqueline says, pruning in order to grow. I like that.
Fine. Amazing. If I could have the slide pulled up, these are a few practical tips that I just jotted down in addition to all of these that will help us tap into our root chakra. So ways that we can balance the root chakra, the power of color. Wear red, eat red. You know, red has been associated with like a power tie, you know, things of this nature. Eating red is also a way to stimulate the root chakra. Apples, beets, watermelon, you know, the list goes on. Different foods that have red, raspberries, can all be ways that can remind you that we're grounded. Putting your feet, you know, in the actual earth. Using spices like cinnamon and clove, things that can warm us. Engaging with nature. These are all ways. Surrounding and surrendering ourselves. Connecting with people who make you feel safe. Stay around people that make you feel safe. The safer you feel around people, the safer you feel within. And that just continues to balance our sense of our root chakra. Okay. And I think on the very other end of that, and I think it's been said as well, release the need to control and feel what is really happening. You know, and you can take the slides down, especially when I find at least, you know, aware of certain triggers and traumas we have. We can do a lot to make sure that we don't get triggered. And that's well and good, which we're inevitably going to get triggered again. We can't control everything. And not everybody is responsible for your triggers. Some people are not aware of your triggers, nor do they have the sensitivity to deal with them. So it ultimately does fall on us to be aware of how we can support ourselves. Sometimes we have to water ourselves when there's nobody available to do so. So releasing the need to control and trusting, you have the tools. If we didn't have them yesterday, we have them today, right? So every day on forward will be a little bit more safe and will be a little bit more secure.
Two things, Quazzy.
Yes.
One is we're coming upon the 7:55 time where we want to thank those who will need to leave. And also Teresa Scott has her hand up.
Okay.
So something to those who are getting ready to leave.
Okay, so thank you for everybody that's been here so far. If you have to go do your next thing, that's cool. If you got time to stay, you should go ahead and stay because we're just on the first one. So, but thank you for taking the time. Honestly, any time you take is much appreciated here.
And Teresa,
Teresa.
can you
Hi, good morning. Hi, thank you. I needed this talk this morning. I was like, I woke up late and I was like, okay, Teresa, it's okay, just chill out and just receive what you're gonna receive. I needed some water in. It's like I'm getting some plant food this morning. A lot of times, you're going through stuff and that word that you say, try not to control stuff, that is a big word. It's like, Teresa, you're not in control. You know, just learn to handle like whatever's coming at you. And the reason why I use the word weed kill is because there are so many things when you are like, I feel like all of us are plants, and when you're a plant, you really need to find out what kills you, like what things come in your life that kill you as a plant. So that's why I use the word weed killer. And I also talked about loving myself because I haven't always loved myself. So it's a new chapter in my life of loving myself. And I think that's the most important thing is that when you love yourself and you know what your weed killers are, then you can survive, this earth that, we've been planted on, because we all have been planted here for a purpose. And I was just saying to myself, Teresa, like, what is your purpose? Because I feel like I don't, like, I feel like I know something what I'm supposed to do, but then there's times when I feel like I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's challenging for me right now because I've got involved in class and different things, but my mind does not seem to be focused on doing any of those things. And so that's where I'm at right now. And like, I just don't know what to do. So I just show up in places where I know I can get fed and get watered and stuff like that, that possibly, it would click in my head. But and then I'm just surrendering to wherever I'm at. It's like if I get an opportunity to be a blessing to someone, to encourage someone, I will. But as far as me, I just don't know what to do right now.
Mm.
And I'm just grateful to be here. And I'm
Appreciate
complete.
you. Yeah, and thanks for the share. I always appreciate your shares and appreciate you sharing.
Thank you.
Here, and maybe the work is done. I think a lot of times we look for like, what are we supposed to do, and maybe the work is done. It's like when a plant grows, you know, it's complete. The plant isn't asked to do anything else. Like you see a beautiful rose, daisy, tulip, what have you. It's complete in its existence. It's existed, so it's complete. And then even in this way, like us being planted here, there's already a level of you have done it, which kind of goes back to the I am enough. Simply being you, beautiful Teresa, is actually enough. Like, you filled a big purpose in my life just now. The purpose, you being here is there is purpose in your existence. You're inherently the purpose. You are the purpose. You know what I'm saying? As much as there may be more that can come from it, but you, as you are, this is another I am enough thing. It really is. Your energy, your light, and how you show up.
You got me crying. Thank you.
Thank you. Word.
Ooh, that was so deep. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Teresa.
Oh.
Love's coming in too on the comments from you. Terry's sending you lots of love. Just telling you to not take the opportunities for granted, that you are enough. And it doesn't seem like you are taking it for granted. The time that I'm able to share space, I've experienced you as seizing the moment. So thank you. And Deborah loves you as well. And Joyce is sending the purple.
I love y'all too. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna defer to my admin team. I know there's more comments. Yeah, I could go on to the next chakra. What do y'all think?
Yeah, let's talk.
Sorry, King, what did you say?
Let's look at the next chakra.
Okay, right on. Let's look at the sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra is in your tailbone above your coccyx. It is known to connect us sensually, sexually, socially, and creatively. This chakra reminds us to feel good. This chakra reminds us to connect with the flow of nature. Okay, and you can drop that slide down. So again, I just kind of have, mind you, we're in the root chakra, we're strengthening that, we're good on our foundation, diving back into the lack. What does it feel like when we are not connected with our sensual side, right? You might feel safe and secure, but again, they're pretty close together, so they can go hand in hand. But let's just say with our sensual side specifically, you're not in touch with the sensations of life. This can be like sensualness with yourself. This can be sexually, again, with yourself or with a partner. This could be socially, how you interact, creatively. What is, when we're not connected with our sensual self, what does it feel like? I see a fool is saying poor relationships. Yep, when we're not connected. These are all different poor relationships and not connected. And the shares can continue to come in and people can share, but I think poor relationships actually pretty much hits the nail on the head. It can lead to a poor relationship with ourselves. It can lead with a poor relationship with others. And as Cheryl was saying, that can be dry. It can be stagnant, it can be boring, there's no flow. It's interesting because the sacral chakra is about water. Water has a flow to it. It's wet, you know, it's better, things are better wet than dry, you know what I'm saying? Like for the most part, like juicy, you know, full, not stagnant, but spontaneous or constant. Like a river is constant. A river is never stagnant. It's always running, right? It's a running river. Shout out to the Running River Collective. Combative can show up when you are not connected to your sensual self. Negative attitude, confrontational, low vibration, dehydrated. I would say that pretty much could sum it up. When we're not connected with our sensual side, we can live a very dehydrated life. Amal, you're saying define poor. Is that a question or is that a statement?
It's a question. What does poor mean in that poor relationship?
Oh, poor. In this case, I would say it means dry. The relationship is lacking a certain level of abundance. There's a scarcity. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're what we should have in a relationship, we are missing it when we're not connected with our sensual side. And so you can put the other slide up just quickly. I think we pretty much, in fact, no, don't even worry about it. Let's say we have this as a framework. These are all good ideas about what it is when our sensual side is not connected. Let's go right into, I'm moving too fast actually. Does anybody else want to share verbally their share? And then afterwards, if no one wants to share, we'll go into ways that it can be juicier.
Nicholas, Laura's angry is screaming out at me. So Laura, would you mind sharing?
Oh boy. You got me this morning. Wow, yes.
Beautiful. Let's take a breath.
Okay, I'm coming. All right. Okay, thank you. I'm so grateful for the conversation. This morning it's hitting home. So could you repeat the question again?
Yes.
In terms of my sacral chakra, right?
Yep. Feeling in touch with our sensual side in terms of relationships.
Yes. I do struggle with issues around my sacral chakra, and it's coming from my experience, or what I now call my co-creations of trauma and pain, and how it has manifested in my life in unhealthy relationships, seeking validation most of my life, having bodily illnesses associated with my sacral chakra. And of course, at times I get angry
I've learned now how to deal with the anger. And now that I realize where it came from, I was able to tackle it head on because it would really lead me down the deepest part of the rabbit hole. So I still get angry sometimes, especially when some truth face me and I don't want to accept it or have an issue, to be honest, with my son. And when he faces me with the truth about our relationship, I get angry at first and then I'm like, you know, you're using it because you don't want to take responsibility for yourself, but it also makes me see who I was, or who, you know, who I was being when I was growing him up. And it's really painful because, you know, the truth and what it has done for our relationship, even though I'm trying to work on the relationship. I don't know if I'm making sense because
I
it's
hear you.
just so much,
Mhm.
but it's painful and makes me angry at times. I'll complete.
Peace, Lord. Thank you for sharing that that entire share.
Bless, bless.
Yeah, give thanks. There's a lot in there, and one thing that really sticks out to me with it is this conversation that we have with guilt versus shame. And I think it's documented in a lot of different places, but a feeling of shame can be something that really holds us back. And feeling of shame can be something that we hold on to. There can be a level of accountability that we can have, both for our actions and also things that we've experienced. And I love what you said, a co-creation, that kind of just that visualization that they all exist with each other. These traumas can impact each other, and then they can even create a family within themselves. And these traumas can create a culture in which we find ourselves living. And we can find ourselves being dictated all of a sudden by a council of traumas. And I think one way we can, at least on our own actions and in the ways that we've actually impacted others, is to release shame. We can release shame. We can have guilt to some level. We can be guilty of something, but to me, shame is I am something, right? And it goes back to the root chakra. I am. What you speak is what comes into existence. So if shame was an I am, it could be something low vibrational. We'll internalize that. In contrast, the sacral chakra is about movement. It's about doing things to a certain degree, about feeling, about going. So if we're guilty of something, we can say, I did that, right? This is something I did. And there's nothing we can do to change that, but I can do many other things because I am dynamic. I am able to grow. I am able to learn from my missteps. I am. So when we're coming to something like the root chakra, it can be about stillness, about just sitting still and letting things plant. When it gets to the sacral chakra, we got to get things moving. You know what I mean? We got to get that water going. And this can create a juiciness with our relationships. In the case of Laura saying, the relationship with her son, right, had some turbulence, right? And them able to still be, in the same, still have conversations or even still move forward, just opens the opportunity for that relationship to continue to find its waters. Sometimes when you look at water, there can be this turbulence, but you kind of ride the wave, and on the other side, the waters can have a stillness. So with something like the sacral chakra, we have to keep flowing. We have to allow ourselves to get out of stagnancy by keeping things lubricated, keeping things fluid. There's some shares in there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a comment or support for Laura, and Jacqueline offered 2 songs.
I think I seen one earlier. To every dry bone in your body, speak life. That's powerful.
Yeah, that comes from Joe Pace. I was looking it up and it was saying Donald Lawrence, but I remember the song because I know I was going through a really, really rough time. And I would play that song over and over and over again in my car and cry and ride. And it somehow lifted me. So I thought Laura might like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it today. That sounds, especially on a Sunday, it sounds good.
Terry Ruffin in a comment, she says, I was there with my relationship with my son. There's hope. We started having honest conversations and how these have impacted our relationship. I have apologized for any harm that I may have caused him. We are moving forward and sharing more, remaining hopeful, Laura, for you, son.
Yeah. You know, sometimes the kids don't know why we acted in a certain way. And I think as if you had the experience of maybe not understanding the parent and then growing, and as you got older, kind of understood where they're coming from, doesn't excuse their behavior, but there can be this level of compassion. Okay, this person was going through something. I can understand, or this person went through something. So I see why they put me through something similar. This all can go back into feeling, how I feel, sharing that with someone. Hey, I know I wasn't the best X, Y, and Z for you. This is how I was feeling. You're allowing yourself to tap into your sacral chakra. You're allowing yourself to feel. What you feel all the time may not be all the time pleasant, but the practice of feeling is what connects us to our sacral chakra. Understanding that also will let us know that if it feels unpleasant, it won't always feel unpleasant, because nothing can be everything all the time, right? So the sacral chakra will have flow. Allow yourself to keep riding the wave of that. You keep sharing as you go. If we could pull the slides up, and we can pull it up from wherever we started. And if we have to skip ahead, I think we'll skip ahead a couple. I know we've talked about ways that we can, oh, here we go. What happens when the sacral chakra is balanced? So these are a few I had: energetic, joyful, open, and honest, feeling free, comfortable in one's skin, sexually balanced, bursting in creativity. These are just to name a few. And then we can go to the next slide. There's another journal prompt. We'll do this one almost like, it's like an express train, right? Like the A train or something. Like 1 to 2 minutes, jot down some ways that you can experience sensuality with yourself in your everyday life. And I would even invite you to take it another step further. What are some concrete ways that you can commit to experiencing sensuality with yourself in everyday life? So the prompt, yes, but what are some ways you personally, you know what, this is how I'm going to connect with myself in everyday life. So we give it 1 to 2 minutes, and then I'll ask John Carl to call on somebody so that we can hold each other in love accountable to what we're going to do, how we're going to experience sensuality, right? And as you're thinking about this, it is not limited to yourself, and it's not required that it includes someone else, right? So you can experience sensuality by yourself, think of the senses, but you can also think of it in terms of intimacy, a connection with a partner. This could be, again, it could be sexual. Maybe you decide to have a more robustness in your love life. It also could be intimate and non-sexual. It could be an emotional connection, deciding you'll show love in a certain way. This can also be creative as well, right? If you've never identified as a dancer, but maybe you want to start giving yourself 10 minutes every day just to dance, this can be a good way to move your sacral chakra. Yoga, another good way to move your sacral chakra. So let's, as you continue to think of these, if you have them already, I'm sure someone does, let's hear some shares. And then if anybody will share theirs openly, that'd be a good way for us to all celebrate you, and maybe celebrate you next week when we all meet and you can share what you do. So
Yeah, there's not a lot. Well, there's one. Oh, here they come in, and they're coming in now. Here they come. Here they come. And as they come in, I was thinking if there's someone who is having a strong feel to share verbally, not everyone wants to write all the details down, but it is anyone that wants to has a strong feeling directly to the question that was just asked. Do you want to share that verbally?
I believe Teresa has her hand up.
Yes, Teresa does have a hand up. Teresa?
I got unmute.
I said I wanted to level myself more and release the shame because I've been living with a lot of shame. And I just wanted to say to Miss Laura that it wasn't until I was on a woo last year that I understood why I had such a problem with my son. And my son is 46 years old. So here I am as a 62-year-old, just learning how to deal with my son. Literally, last year was the first time I really understood why I was angry with him and why we had such a, rough relationship. And once I began to start releasing the shame of what had happened to him and admitted to him, that, yeah, I was wrong and I had you at 16 and I was most likely in a trauma, in shock of having you at 16. And there was just a lot of other things that happened to me, as a young woman that should have not happened to me. So I felt like how I felt like I was in postpartum, like, after you have a baby and you don't want to be bothered with the baby. That's exactly how I felt, and it's, it was sad for me to say that, but it was like, I didn't like my son, but there was a reason for me not to like him. It wasn't because he wasn't likable. It's just that I had been exposed to so much shame about having him. And my parent, really just, was very negative with me about him. So it didn't make me want to see him. So I saw him as my brother, really not as my son. And this
But
is the
Teresa, I'm gonna ask you too. Well, I got you here.
Yes.
Having the context that you have, and the relationship you have, how are you going to allow that to flow? How are we tapping into the sacral chakra?
Well, I'm loving myself and I'm not allowing that shame of what, happened with me and him, stop our relationship. There's times
what would that look like as an action?
Well, what I do is that when I'm having a challenge with him, I tell myself, don't take it personally, and that's one of the things I do. And I just give myself some love talks, loving myself, and just work on me and loving on myself. That's the main thing what I do.
Those are all good. I appreciate you sharing them. And I even encourage when tapping into the sacral chakra specifically, you find things that'll appeal to your senses. Things that like the affirmations are good for your mind as well, but then also finding ways to physically feel that love. If you're able to maybe hug your son. I don't know if you've done that. I know people often say they don't get enough hugs from their parents, or parents not realizing, even especially men, maybe like your grown ass man's son may not verbally say or even know he needs a hug from mom every now and then, but he might not have gotten that hug in years, just being, the grown man that he is. So this is a way that you can tap into the sacral chakra. You can feel you grew a whole man, and just to feel him in your arms and to feel how strong he is. And like, it's going to remind you that this came from you, your body, and
yes,
in ways you can feel the love.
Well, he's in Georgia, but I'm gonna give him a virtual hug right now until I get down.
Right on. And then hug yourself then. Rub your shoulders, rub yourself. Yeah, give yourself a hug.
Hug myself. Okay. I'm hugging myself right now.
I felt it. Thanks. Do you have anybody else that want to share their experience with the sacral chakra?
Awesome. What I want to share is the chat. The comments started to roll in and they're beautiful. I love this question because it raises the vibration. It's like loving yourself. So your question again, what are the ways that you can experience sensuality with yourself in your everyday life? Kaisha came in with the first comment and she said, put it on special perfume and jewelry. We have Jacqueline who said, we can listen to music give ourselves spa treatments or go to the spa, long bubble baths with candles and music, doing yoga, taking walks, gardening, going to water, painting.
I'm trying to do that whole comment. The whole comment I'm trying to do for sure. That's the one.
All of it, all of it. And we can, I love this because every one of us can relate to at least one of these things in the full chat right now. And I'll read another one. And this comes from Facebook through Charmaine. It comes from Facebook. We have Jim who says, I regularly massage my face, hands and feet. Plus I get a massage and sauna every month.
I love the every month part. We have to keep on it. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Loving yourself is a constant thing, or feeling that sensuality is a constant thing.
Yes.
Constant balancing. When we think of all the chakras, we're balancing it. Jacqueline responds to Kaisha with a yes. Kaisha, she said, and Jacqueline says, dressing up. Dressing up is giving yourself an experience in that sensuality every day. Teresa said, love on myself more, release the shame that holds me hostage. Speak sweet words to my body. Beautiful, Teresa. Cheryl Glenn says, cooking, drawing, painting, coloring, salt baths, drinking lots of water, spa time, intimate time with self, lover and friends, or lovers and friends.
I want to add real quick, John Carl. Teresa, when you speak the sweet words, make sure you say them out loud too, and that'll be a good way your voice can hear it out loud, and this will be sensual because then that's a sense of hearing.
Absolutely. The funny thing, it's funny that you say that because as I tune in more to myself, I had to ask a friend. I said, "Do you feel or do you hear a change in my voice? I sound different. I feel like I sound different." And as I analyze that thought even more, I recognize it is me tapping into more of my confidence. And as I tap into more of my confidence, my voice starts to sound different to me, not to anyone else, but to me, I feel the difference. It feels more sensual. I can feel the rhythm more. And it's helping me to even recognizing it is helping me to tap into it even more and sensing that same frequency, feeling, vibration in other areas of my life, not just in my voice.
Totally agree. And I know you as an artist, it's like someone else may see it and they're like, yeah, it's fine. But you kind of know when it's exactly in alignment. I had the same feeling. Like this is how I'm supposed to sound, even though everything else is cool before the growth, I'm sounding more like myself. Totally. Yeah.
It's a tuning of the instrument. We're all artists and we are the instrument that creates the art. So when you tune into yourself, you start to feel that alignment where your art becomes more fluent, where you become an extension of the things you create. Sometimes we create things and I get people saying, well, I'm not an artist. I'm like, no, you are. You created that, connect with it. You are an artist. And this is all part of fine tuning and recognizing the instrument that we are and how we do it. And then also how we take away that power by not claiming it. Yeah, powerful. Let's go on a little bit more. At the end of Cheryl's share was making things with my hands. And again, grounding yourself with the physical things. You talked about the earth, but everything physical. We learn a lot kinesthetically when we touch and tune in and you experiment. So yes, making things, being creative with your hands. Again, cooking, Jacqueline says, that's creating with your hands. Charmaine brought another comment from Facebook, and this came from Charmaine herself. And she said, a hot bath with essential oils, incense, music, facials, manicure and pedicures, exercising, traveling, dancing, singing, etc. And I just love I don't know about anybody else, but I get such a sensual feeling as I read these comments and as I share them you know, it resonates. And again, with that, whatever I'm feeling with my voice, it is where, like how you said, recognizing the pitch in your voice is when you say something with meaning, the words vibrate. It goes out and it comes back. If you're sensitive enough to your energy, you know, you can feel it. You can feel it. We have several other comments popping in the chat. It goes on and on.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to just read all the comments because it. I feel like it can take up a lot of the share, so to speak.
Understood, for sure. And I appreciate everybody sharing, and even the ones I got to just kind of see this at the scan, such as orgasmic experience, or there's someone said, it was Sophia said, doing things that don't have a purpose. That's a big part of this. Do it because it feel good. Let that be the whole purpose. They don't have to be, you know, you ever have a hobby or something that you got to make $1 million off all of a sudden? No, just do some things for yourself that just feel good, and that can be a way to tap in. Yeah, a lot of good shares across the board. We can, I guess, we can pull the slides up and go. We'll see what the next slide is. Just a few tips on how we can balance it, which we've already talked about, and then we'll round it out with this solar chakra and give you some homework to do that we can connect with later. I'll give you my email and stuff, so I'd love to hear your shares after. So we can. Oh, here it goes. Thanks, admin team. Balancing the sacral chakra, eat orange. Like this type what we've been saying on the last ones. Think of the color, find it in your life, and then source it. That's the big thing here. Mango, sweet papaya, peaches, salmon, right? These are also orange, and they also have this sensual quality to it. I believe salmon has some aphrodisiac quality to it as well at some level. So, and then healing your traumas is a big thing. Exercise and dance. All right, boogie. Okay, we can go to the next slide, solar chakra. Okay, this solar plexus chakra is located in the upper belly at the abdomen. It's known as the center of personal power. So this is the I do one. And it's interesting how they progress in that way. I am, right? This is who I am. This is how I feel. This is what I'm gonna do about it, all right? And you're gonna do it with a certain level of confidence when you're tapping into your solar plexus, right? Think of solar. You're shining. When it gets to this point, you're shining. You're shining, okay? And the purpose of the solar plexus is to get in touch with your willpower, confidence, and personal freedom, okay? Let's go to the next slide. These are a few ways, right? If you think about yourself at your least confident, you know, there can be a feeling of powerlessness. They can feel overly aggressive even, because there can be an insecurity about your power. You could be neglecting certain duties because you're not confident. And at the same time, you could be taking on too many responsibilities. And this one probably we can relate to. I know a lot of us can. Doing too much can be an imbalance in the solar chakra, right? You could have a lack of confidence in others to do their job, so you got to do their job. Or you feel like you're never doing enough, so you got to do the most. And on the other end, lack of confidence, be neglecting your duties, right? Same thing with insecure or conceited, right? You could be insecure when you're not tapped into your confidence, or you could be conceited, like Afua said, trying to control. As a way to mask some of those insecurities. And then we're gonna have a share after this next slide. If you do the next slide, these are ways to, when things are balanced, right? The very opposite of all of that, right? You master your own thoughts when you're confident and tapped into your true willpower, true freedom. You can overcome your fears. It's not wrong to have fear. Fear is a part of life, right? So you never have to be fearless. It'll create an unreasonable expectation to be fearless. But to be courageous, you can be courageous when you have tapped into your solar plexus chakra. You accept yourself, and then you're self-motivated, right? No one has to tell you to do the things that you want to do, because you're doing the things that you feel like doing, sacral chakra. And you know what it is that you feel like doing because you're rooted in that, the I am. So we can take the presentation off. If anyone wants to share about tapping into their true sense of self with the solar plexus chakra, how do we move from this? Once you feel it, how do you go about doing it? How do you go about doing something about And you can also read the chat too, because I know what's going up.
This is a free. I would just like to say I like being unapologetically me. I am very silly. I am playful. I love I love life. And a lot of times people are like, you're that age and you act that way. And I'm like, yes, I love it. I'm unapologetically me, playful, happy, fun.
Mm-hmm. Peaceful, yeah, exactly. Because we can be 100% us, right? Like that's possible. If we try to be somebody else, we're gonna max out, at like 80%. You could only do it like the next person so well before you can start to. But with yourself, there's no other blueprint. You are the mold. Like it's really becomes relative. You can be 100% you. That's a beautiful share. Oh, y'all talking about crab legs. Chat was talking about crab legs, y'all, and things of that nature. Y'all going up with the crab legs. I love it. Was there going to be one more share with the solar plexus chakra, being unapologetically you? How do you tap into that, or feelings in which you weren't and you needed to find a way around it?
It says, myself, who will be?
If I'm not myself, who will be? Let's go. I feel exactly. I love that. If I'm not myself, who will be? Mm-hmm. And then Terry shared as well. I'm learning to say no, so I am not overcommitting myself. I'm learning to just do nothing at times. Yeah, takes a lot of confidence. Takes a lot of confidence to be like, you know what, I'm good. Or I've done enough. For when we do maybe with art, you might look up to someone in art and you kind of hear how they made their masterpiece, and you can maybe be surprised at how simple it is sometimes. You're like, oh, I had to do all of it, and then it turns out they just kind of put something simple. Not that it was easy, but they were confident enough to let it play itself out in this one.
I have a question. This is Mother Ma. I always thought, and I could be absolutely wrong, that the solar plexus is also the area where you get signals about whether or not this is going to be right, or I shouldn't do this, or spirit speaking through me through the solar plexus. I thought, of course, through the heart as well, but I thought the solar plexus also played a part of that nature. Am I correct or incorrect?
I think you're on point with that. I think you're on point. When I think about the solar plexus and the area that it covers, I associate my gut with that area. So I think the phrase "trust your gut," I think for me at least, maybe what you're saying too is I tend to feel it in my gut. It's a gut decision things when things are needing to like go a certain way. So I think you're totally on point with that. There can be they're all, every chakra will, and their intuition can run through our whole body, but there's something about our gut feeling that can allow us and then boldly decide, oh, I gotta go this way because my gut is speaking up, like to ignore that would be a big ask. So I think that's on point.
I would like to say this is a full of free. One time I had company coming to my home, and when the person came, all of a sudden my gut, like there was just alarms went off. And I said to myself, I was like, oh snap, they're here already. I gotta let them in. So I let them in and we met, we talked, whatever. And then 2 weeks later, the feeling and what happened, it all came together because that person pretty much cursed me out and just like went off the meter for no reason. And I was like, oh man. I said to my body, thank you for letting me know, but I wish I would have known before I invited them to come over. Then I'd have been like, you ain't getting in my house. But it's true that gut feeling is like, yeah.
Totally. I can relate. Oh my gosh, I can relate. And you know, we caught it when we caught it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they still got into the house and we still had that experience, but at least you knew that the intuition system was working. Not that we followed it, right? Not that we followed it all right away or whatever, but at least you know it's working. You know, like the smoke detector's on.
Yeah, I was just like, I can't tell them, oh, you gotta go. I was like, how do I tell them they gotta go? And all right. But it was good to know, the
Yeah.
signals went off after and I found out. So I'm no longer talking with this person.
Mhm. I want to say that the chakras all connect. So that if there's a blockage in one area, it can show up in the other. And this is true for even people we interact with. So even if, you know, they all do connect in this way. I was going to mention something else. I'll come back to it when, just remember, you can cover your chakras. And this is something we'll talk about another time. But this, in Afua's case, this was a situation that she couldn't really get out of in the moment. My gut is telling me, but they're already here. I'm not going to just not let them come in, you know. Internally, though, we can have a covering. Okay, this person, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to keep myself protected. Not closed off from with myself, not blocked, but almost just a layering energetically from myself and them, a buffer between whatever they might be harboring that keeps me protected.
Can I just say something? This is Mother Mall again. Another thing, everything that comes in our space, like that gut feeling said, I shouldn't be letting this man in. But at the same token, the fact that you did let him in meant that he brought a message for you. In terms of whatever happened down the line, you can go back and say, oh my goodness, okay, so what could this possibly mean in my life? Where I don't know what it could be, whatever the situation that had him cuss you out, or the fact that he brought that kind of energy into you, and the only way he could have done that is because that's where you're sitting in your heart, in your space. All that could be a lesson. You can guard yourself from it, but you can also learn from it. And I'm complete.
Ashe, mama. And this
Yes.
goes into what the solar plexus does. It's about willpower. So it's like, you know, the message, we learn the message. How many times do we want to learn this message? We want to learn it one time. You just want to, you don't want you want to learn the lesson the first time. And then once you learn it, the solar plexus, the willpower will allow us to not make that same decision. We'll have a new decision made, and we'll have the confidence to make it because we already know how this could go. I want to acknowledge the time. Yep. John Carl. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Quazzy. Before you finish up, I wanted to bring attention to the time. It's now 8:35, and you can share with the community how much time you will need to wrap up. And it's totally fine. Just let us know what you need, and we can move forward. And also share with us about your special offer too, and give time enough, because I believe the winners will be emailing you, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So just give us time so you can check the emails and identify the winners while we're still on in the community.
For sure. I want to say thank y'all for just taking this extra bit of time. And we're gonna have 4 minutes. I just need 4 minutes, and then I'll be complete. So we'll go into 8:40 if that's okay with everyone. And if you have to log off, that's I totally understand. And John Carl, did you want me to share about the offer now or afterwards?
It's totally up to you. Just you can unfold it as you see, and just be mindful that we'll be pulling up the offer soon.
All right, sweet. In that case, we can pull up my final slide. This is gonna be a little bit of homework for everyone, and this is something that I think will be powerful to take in for. Pardon me, not the final slide, but the journal and reflection. That will be my final slide. Thank you, Amity. Given all that we've talked about, in your journal, imagine a superhero version of yourself, one not limited to self-doubt or societal pressure. What does that version of you look like beyond your own insecurities? Okay, now notice if this is easy or difficult to affirm yourself. I would say after what we've done and what you've shared, we'll say it's easier now to affirm ourselves, probably than it has been before. So confidently imagine this version of yourself, the superhero version of yourself that's not limited by anything, right? What does that version look like? And you can either write it as an affirmation, like I am, I am, I am, right? It could be a narrative, it could be a picture, right? Because we're tapping into the sacral chakra. So we know about creativity. You can creatively go about this. And then we're in the solar chakra, confidence, to name it. This is the best version of you. And it's already manifested on some level because you've thought it. There's already a vibrational manifestation of it that exists even beyond the earthly tangible version that will be on the way. Like Teresa said, I'm a gladiator. Imagine what a gladiator version of you is. So take your time with that. Let that be something you can maybe reflect on. And then throughout your week, think of that version that you created as the version that is walking around. Walking around the streets, halls, the communities, your own room. Imagine that is the version of you that's connected to their root. Imagine that is the version of you that can feel. With that, I am complete on this first part, our first discussion on the chakras. We'll have a follow-up, if it all, inshallah, and it'll go on for the rest of them. But I just want to say thank you so much again to the Woo community for just being like the best community ever, honestly, from the engagement to the support, to the food for thought. It's really amazing. I'm Quazzy. I've been just pleased to do this facilitation here. I have a special offer for a workshop that we're currently creating. This special offer is an extension of the first presentation I had with Woo, and it's about discovering a natural version of ourselves. We'll look at the chakra system briefly in this workshop that we're creating, and we'll be looking at a bunch of other things as well and a few other modalities. Today, the first two participants to email me at my email, which I think will pop up, it's quaz@runningrivercollective.com, will have a free scholarship. Okay, so this is for those that have already emailed me prior. You're still on the list. I still have you on the serve, no worries. So this is an opportunity for people, if you hadn't had a chance to try before, or if it didn't work out last time, you can email me today and we'll make sure that you're in that course. Because I would love ultimately for everyone that's here to be in the course, because this is such a dynamic community. In addition, this is my information. You can contact me. We're most active on Instagram. If you have Instagram, please follow us and share there. Also on YouTube, we post a lot of meditation videos. I'm also on the app Insight Timer. I also want to give a special acknowledgement. I should have did this in the beginning, but I'm not going to let the time go without acknowledging a member of my Running River Collective community, Maggie, who just led a 7-week chakra course for us. And she led us every Sunday through each chakra. And a lot of her information was a foundation to this particular presentation. I couldn't have done what I did today without her efforts. So I just want to acknowledge her and acknowledge my whole team at Running River Collective, because they do a lot of good work for the community. And this is an extension of it, and I'm an extension of them. So with that, I feel complete. I feel whole. I am whole. I am complete. Thank you. Oh, okay. And now I got more to say. I'm gonna be complete again after this. This is a way that you can donate to our work at the Running River Collective. Donate as much as you can, honestly, because it all goes back to the community. We use the money to support our facilitators, and we also use it to make our scholarship programs available and accessible so that the energy exchange can stay up and we can continue to support the community in the ways that we have been. This changes with each season, and it'll continue to grow and continue to develop. So thank you for what you can give, for how you can give. And just know that even if it's next time that you can donate financially, you've poured in a lot, emotionally. You've poured in a lot energetically. So we appreciate all the contributions and the continued support.
Quasi, before we switch, could you just read the slide
Oh, yeah.
for those who may not be familiar with it?
Oh, for sure. Okay. The love offerings a donation. It's a Zelle quick pay. You can pay to soulleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com, or you can cash app Spirit of a Woman. Make sure you use the code #346NH so that they know who the love offering is going to. #346NH. That's myself, Quazzy. And I'll be receiving any donations that way. So if you're able to donate, those are the steps at Cash App Spirit of a Woman or soulleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com. Oh, let me put the, and I can do that. I can put the email in the chat. Running River. It's Quaz, QUAZ @runningrivercollective.com. Okay. I can do the coming up next too as well. Okay. So you may have heard the voice, you may have seen the face of my executive admin today, John Carl Martin. Tomorrow, he is leading a dynamic presentation entitled In My Own Lane. We already realized that we get a wealth of information from this brother here and a wealth of support. So be sure to tune in tomorrow to continue to get these blessings from John Carl. And then the following day, I believe that'll be the 30-minute segment. We'll have Using the Arts as a Healing Modality with Shlomi Oren. And be sure to check that out as well. A lot of good things on the horizon on these upcoming days.
Yes, and I would like to thank all the new members that might be in the space today. I'm not sure who you are. If you are new, please make a comment in the chat so that we can know, I can know, and then you can get your greetings. So if I verbally don't greet you, then I can assure you the community will. So get your greetings by saying you're new. And new means first day here in Zoom, first day in Facebook, first day or first month experiencing Woo. We're open arms for you. You're welcome to come into the Zoom space if you're not already here. And we're here Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 8:30. And on Monday and Wednesdays, we're here from 7 to 7:30. And every day on those days, we are streaming live on Facebook. You can get your Woo swag so that you can let everybody know about Woo and have them become new people in the space and be your partners in growth and waking up. So we have sweatshirts and t-shirts and cups and masks and more to come. bit.ly/Woo swag is where you can get your swag. And so joining the Zoom space requires you to sign up every week so that you can get your emails that tells you who's up, and you also get the Zoom link. You sign up at bit.ly/wake up movement. And the Facebook community, if you want to be in the community, if you want to catch the replays, if you want to communicate with your other woke folk, go to bit.ly/Woo community and you'll be accepted into the space. We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we also have an email address. We ask that if you have any comments or questions, to email us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. And so I am going to stop the screen share and I'm going to ask. I can thank Quazzy for this wonderful experience.
Did you make I also have the announcements of who won the
Yeah.
So the first two and winner of the scholarship are Afia and Kaisha. Yay, Afia and Kaisha. Thank you for
Thank you. I accept.
Awesome.
This is Kaisha, I accept.
Perfect. And Afia, do you accept as well?
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No doubt. Happy to see y'all. And once the workshop's ready.
All right, everyone on mute.
Thank you. This was
Awesome.
Quazzy.
Brother Nicholas.
You put a smile on my
Chakras. Can't
face.
wait for part 2, part 3. We definitely need more. Thank you for bringing us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Quazzy. This was really
Go.
great.
Thank you.
Hope I got a deeper
Put a
understanding of the
smile
chakras.
on
Okay,
my
Thank you so much.
face.
Thank you.
Thank you, Quazzy.
You
Yeah.
put a
I was
smile
Have a beautiful
lacking
day, everybody.
in
face. Yeah,
fill
yeah.
that gap. You have
You
filled
put a
that gap.
smile on
Thank you
my
for that knowledge.
face. Yes, you
Thank you for
Loving the
informing me
energy.
about my chakra.
on my
I
Appreciate
did
it.
face.
not know, and now I know.
And
I'm
thank you for
smiling.
the connection to
I'm
food.
laughing. I'm joyful. I'm peaceful. I'm sensual. Oh, yes, I am. You put a smile on my face. Thank y'all very, very much. I love y'all.
Thank you, Sister Teresa. Sing, girl. Thank you, Quazzy.
You
Thank
put
you.
a smile on my face.